Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to this edition of our program Africa Today. In today's edition, we are going to talk about the celebrations marking Africa Day. Actually, on the 25th of May every year, we mark the global celebration of Africa Day and set aside to the commemoration of the founding of the first Union of African countries, which was established in 1963. To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, our expert in the African affairs. Good afternoon to you, sir. Dr. Ezaby.
Good afternoon.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Fine.
Sir, every year the 25th of May is marking the global celebration of Africa Day. Do you agree that this day is a reminder of the joint African values and the importance of proceeding with the march of peace, prosperity and integration in the African continent?
Well, we sincerely congratulate all our African friends on the occasion of 25th May Africa Day, which marks the 61st anniversary of the foundation of the African Union. That implies the idea of an integrated African continent and desire to live together in tolerance. Our relations with the African continent and African countries, whose strategic importance is increased each passing day, and who present the concerns of international community on various issues of a global scale, are conducted in the holistic, institutional and systematical framework based on the principle of mutual respect and equality. The aim, objective of our cooperation with African countries is to ensure that peace, stability, and development take root throughout Africa.
Indeed. Doctor, how do you see Egypt's vital role in the African Union?
What?
Egypt's role in the African Union, sir.
Egypt's role in African Union, Egypt is one of the foundation of the founding member state of the Organization of African Unity in May 1963.
Yes.
Egypt considered the OAI as an organization that defends African unity, embraces its solidarity, and expresses its voice of the international arena. Egypt's rule preserving the spirit of the OAI charter was prominent. The first African summit hosted on its land in July 1964. Egypt participated in all of the OAU meeting and played a very important role in calling the Namibia's independence, opposing racial discrimination, making mediation efforts, setting dispute solving economic problems, and setting the accumulated debts of the development countries.
Sir, how do you view actually Egypt's role in enhancing developmental efforts in Africa and preserving the security and political stability throughout the whole of the continent?
Egypt greatly contributes the efforts aimed to achieve development in Africa, either at bilateral level or through as the Presidency of African Union in its side. Setting that Egypt President Abdel Fattah Sisi currently chairs the steering committee of the new Partnership for Africa Development Agency, NEPAD, for period of 2023 to 2025. In recent years, Egypt has keenly harnessed its capabilities to advance joint action among African countries, support their issues, and resolve their crises and the route to development for inter-continent.
Yes. Dr. Ezaby, actually, moving to the education in Africa, how can the African countries actually benefit from the Egyptian experience in the field of education?
Well, Egyptian Egypt plays an important role in supporting education strategies in brotherly African countries. The geography of place is what brought us together, and our strength lies in our union. Egypt aims to achieve productive learning, folk knowledge, creativity, and thinking, which country is building the African personality.
Indeed, sir. How did Egypt actually succeed in proposing some useful strategies and ideas to promote the education in the African continent in general?
Egypt's effort to promote education in Africa has been multi-factored and strategies. Here are some case strategies and ideas that may have implemented. Capacity building initiative. Egypt could have initiated programs aimed to building the capacity of teachers and educators across Africa. This may involve training, workshop, seminars, and exchange programs where African educators can learn best practice from Egyptian counterparts. Scholarships programs, also education partnerships, and investment in infrastructure by Egypt and Africa, promotion of online education. Egypt could have promoted online education platforms and digital learning resources to reach students in all countries of Africa.
Doctor, do you believe actually that the African continent thrives on its terms and stands as a dynamic force in the global arena?
Yes, I believe that the African continent has the potential and thrive and emerges as a dynamic force in the global arena. Several factors contribute to this potential. Abundant natural resources. Africa is rich in natural resources, including minerals, oils, and arable land. Effective harvesting and meaning these resources can fuel economic growth and development on the continent. Useful population and rapid urbanization and land industry, increasing access to technology, regional integration and cooperation, many things that Egypt made to Africa.
Yes. Doctor, how do you view the Egyptian-African ties at the moment?
Under President Sisi's leadership, Egyptian-African ties have been renewed focus and strengthened across various domains, including political, economic, cultural, and educational cooperation. I will say some of basis of cooperation, diplomatic engagement, economic partnership, industry development, security cooperation, cultural and educational exchange, mediation and conflict resolutions. Many things have made through the period of President Abdel Fattah Sisi to Africa.
Indeed. Sir, can we say that now, under the leadership of President Sisi, Egypt is regaining its legacy in the African continent?
Well, President Sisi leadership has seen a proactive approach towards reinforcing Egyptian-African ties, recognizing the strategic importance of Africa and the potential for mutual beneficial cooperation by engaging with African countries across multiple sectors. Egypt seeks to contribute to the continent's development while advancing its own interest and objective in the region.
Indeed. Doctor, as an African expert, how do you evaluate the steps taken till this moment to increase our cooperation with Africa, and what more do we expect to witness during the coming phase as we are celebrating the Africa Day?
Well, we must raise cooperation between Egypt and all African countries in many fields. We must share our experience with all African countries. Yes. We must support AOU to take very hard decisions about struggles in African countries, try to solve all struggles in African countries. Yes. And we can also invest in Africa, try to make cooperation investing in economic. Yes, so we can, because we have the same land, the same future, so we must cooperate together.
Yes. Do you believe that we are still having some challenges in increasing the level of cooperation among the different African states? I'm not talking only about the Egyptian-African ties, I'm talking about the inter-African relations.
Well, we saw that Egypt make many contributions in many countries of Africans, yes. Such as Victoria Lake, such as many dams in some African countries. So we must support this increasing to make a very good relation by economic relation, by supporting African countries, by real projects for electricity, for water, for agriculture. Yes. So by investment, by this way of cooperation, we will make a very, very strengthened relations between Egypt and Africa.
Indeed. Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, our expert in the African affairs, thank you so much, sir, for your precious input and for being our guest for today. And moving on with the education in Africa, in line with the theme, Education Fit for the 21st Century, join us in the Celebration Africa Day by engaging in conversations and sharing insight on the future of education in Africa. Here is the story.
In line with the theme Education Fit for the 21st Century, Africa Day is celebrated by engaging in conversations and sharing insights on the future of education in Africa. Together, we can create an education system that not only meets the demands of the 21st century, but also ensures that every African child has the opportunity to thrive. Education is a cornerstone for Africa's growth and development, serving as a critical driver for socio-economic transformation and innovation. By focusing on education fit for the 21st century, we are equipping the next generation with the skills and knowledge needed to navigate and thrive in an increasingly complex and digital world. This theme aligns perfectly with Agenda 2063, the African Union's strategic framework for the continent's socio-economic transformation. Agenda 2063 envisions a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development, where education plays a pivotal role in achieving these goals. Modernizing our educational systems to include digital literacy, critical thinking, and adaptability ensures that Africa can harness its demographic divide and foster entrepreneurship and compete effectively on the global stage. Investing in education today is essential for building a resilient, innovative and prosperous Africa tomorrow. Education is not just a foundational element for individual success, but a foundation for the sustainable development and prosperity of the entire continent. Youth involvement is crucial to achieving the ambitious goals set out in Agenda 2063.
Our dear viewer, that would bring us to the end of this edition of Africa Today, and we leave you with this report as we are celebrating Africa Day. The continent, Egypt, is reaffirming its commitment to the African water security on this very special day. We leave you with this report.
Egypt, alongside the African continent, celebrated Africa Day on Saturday, May 25th, marking the founding of the Organization of African Unity in 1963. The occasion served as a platform for Hani Soueilam, Egypt's Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation and President of the African Ministers' Council on Water, to spotlight the continent's water challenges. Soueilam reiterated Egypt's commitment to cooperating with African nations and providing support through various projects. These include the construction of solar-powered groundwater drinking water stations, rainwater harvesting tanks, river marinas, water monitoring stations and initiatives to combat aquatic weeds. Egypt's contributions to addressing Africa's water challenges extend beyond infrastructure. The country launched the African Center for Water and Climate Adaptation, offering training courses for African specialists. Egypt led the African track of the 10th World Water Forum, showcasing a unified vision of the continent's water challenges. The country is now preparing to host the Africa Water Week in conjunction with the 7th Cairo Water Week in October 2024.